Have you ever wondered why you keep losing respect, opportunities, and peace of mind while others who are less good seem to win effortlessly? Today, I will reveal a truth so dark that 90% of people will reject it instantly, but it will protect you from humiliation and mediocrity forever, if you dare to hear it. In a world where people worship illusions of goodness, weakness is often praised while cunning is condemned. Yet, those who truly rule understand the world not as a temple of virtue, but as a chessboard of power, perception, and harsh realities. Today, we peel back the comforting lies and reveal the dark truth 90% of people are still not ready to hear. You think you are good. You think you live by moral principles, helping others, staying honest, and trying to be kind. Believing this will protect you and earn you respect was the lie. This illusion of goodness is one of the most comforting prisons society has created, a prison where you willingly lock yourself each day, convinced that playing nice will shield you from betrayal, humiliation, and manipulation. The truth you refuse to see that this illusion of goodness is often the perfect camouflage for your weakness. It's a disguise you wear, and it's a disguise others wear to deceive you. People love to appear moral, to talk about kindness, generosity, and honesty, but under this surface, their actions are often driven by self-interest, fear, and the relentless pursuit of advantage. And the most dangerous part, they don't even realize it, because even their minds are programmed to believe they are virtuous while acting on hidden self-serving motives. You notice it every day, but you dismiss it. Think about the friend who always preaches loyalty but vanishes when you need help. The colleague who talks about fairness but seizes every chance to step ahead of you. The family member who lectures about honesty but hides truths that would damage their reputation. You see it, but you don't want to believe it. That was the lie, because it would force you to see the world in a way that demands change, and most people fear change more than betrayal. Society trains you to uphold morality in words while ignoring its absence in actions. You are taught to seek validation, to please others, to sacrifice your boundaries in the name of kindness, and to keep your voice low so you can be accepted. But this acceptance is often empty. It is the acceptance of sheep, not the respect of wolves. It is a form of quiet, daily humiliation dressed in polite smiles and handshakes, leaving you drained while others take what they need from you. The illusion of goodness also convinces you that your suffering is noble, that your sacrifices for others will be repaid with loyalty and gratitude. This is one of the harshest lies. In truth, your sacrifices are quickly forgotten. Your consistent help is taken for granted, and your forgiveness is seen as permission for repeated disrespect. What if that was the lie? You hold on to the illusion because it is easier to believe in a moral universe than to accept that you are being drained by people who only remember you when they need something. You might say, "But I don't want to become cold and ruthless." You don't have to. But what you cannot afford is blindness. Blindness to the manipulative nature of human interactions makes you an easy target for those who see clearly. They are not burdened by the illusion. They know most people live in fear of disapproval, and they use that fear to control them. They know that people crave to be seen as good, and they exploit this craving by pushing them to say yes when they want to say no, to give when they want to keep, and to agree when they want to resist. While you try to be good in the eyes of others, those who understand the true nature of human interactions are setting the rules of the game you are playing. They use social proof, emotional manipulation, and moral shaming to keep you compliant, all while they build their power quietly, acting in ways you would call selfish but which, in reality, are strategic and necessary in a world where morality is a currency spent freely but rarely practiced. Your illusions also blind you to your own self-serving nature. You want to be seen as good because it feeds your ego, and it keeps you from having to confront your fear of rejection. You hide behind kindness to avoid conflict, not realizing that conflict is sometimes the only way to protect your peace. You pretend to be generous while hoping for approval in return, and when you do not receive it, you feel betrayed. Yet you refuse to acknowledge your hidden expectations, blaming others for not appreciating your goodness, never questioning if your goodness was just a tool for validation. This is the dark truth that most people will never admit, even to themselves. The illusion of goodness is not only what blinds you to others, it is what blinds you to your own motives, your own cowardice, and your own unwillingness to face reality as it is rather than how you wish it to be. You call it kindness, but sometimes it is fear. You call it morality, but sometimes it is weakness. You call it selflessness, but often it is a hidden hunger for approval. This illusion keeps you small while you congratulate yourself for being noble, never realizing that your nobility is often the chain that keeps you from becoming free, respected, that was the lie, and powerful in a world that respects not illusions but strength of perception and clarity of mind. You have been told your entire life that if you are good, people will respect you. That if you are kind, people will protect you. That if you avoid conflict and keep your head down, you will live in peace. This is the sweet poison society feeds you to keep you manageable, predictable, and safe for others to use. But what you will never be told openly is that power and respect do not come from your goodness. They come from your ability to see the harsh truths about fear, control, and perception, and to use them when necessary. Look around you. Who are the people others fear losing? Who are the people others cannot ignore? It is never the ones who constantly please, who beg for acceptance, who nod in agreement just to keep the peace. It is those who have something raring the courage to enforce boundaries, to walk away when disrespected, to embrace conflict when it is necessary, and to understand that fear is not always the enemy, but often the glue that holds power together. Fear, control, and perception are the invisible forces that dictate who commands the room and who gets silenced. Fear does not mean violence. It means the fear of losing your approval, the fear of your absence, the fear of your disapproval, the fear of the consequences you can bring if disrespected. Control is not about micromanaging others. It is about controlling your emotions, your reactions, your environment, and the stories others believe about you. Perception is not about pretending to be someone you are not, was the lie. It is about carefully choosing what you reveal, what you conceal, and how you position yourself so that your presence carries weight. The world does not respect passive goodness because passive goodness is abundant and easily replaceable. But the world will respect those who can say no, who can enforce their words with actions, and who are not terrified of being disliked if it protects their dignity and objectives. People test you, often unconsciously, to see what you will tolerate, to see if your kindness is a strategy or a weakness. The moment they sense that you fear conflict more than you fear disrespect, they will choose disrespect every time because it costs them nothing. If you want to truly understand power, you must study fear. Not how to be afraid, but how others' fear shapes their actions. People fear losing social standing, fear losing opportunities, fear being alone, fear being exposed, fear being confronted. Those who understand these fears can move others without threats, simply by controlling what others want to avoid. Most people crave to avoid discomfort. So, when you are willing to walk into discomfort to defend your respect or your purpose, you gain power simply by doing what others refuse to do. Perception is equally powerful. In a world that judges before it understands, perception becomes reality. If you appear calm under pressure, people will believe you are in control, even when you are calculating your next move internally. If you carry yourself with quiet confidence, people will assume you are capable, even before you have proven yourself. If you maintain emotional composure while others lose theirs, you become the anchor in chaos, and people will respect your presence, even if they disagree with your views. Power is rarely loud. It is often the silent certainty that you project, which others feel and instinctively respect. Control is what separates those who command power from those who only desire it. Control of your reactions, control of your habits, control of your environment. Those who are quick to anger, quick to please, quick to speak without thinking are easy to predict, easy to manipulate, and easy to replace. Those who practice restraint, who observe before speaking, who think 3 steps ahead before acting, are the ones who dictate the tempo of interactions. People respect what they cannot easily read, and they fear what they cannot predict. The harsh truth is that people will claim they value kindness and softness, but their behavior tells another story. They gravitate towards strength, certainty, and boundaries. They admire those who protect themselves, who have the courage to enforce consequences when disrespected, who are not constantly seeking approval. If you do not learn this, you will spend your life resenting those who are respected while you remain overlooked. But believing it is because you are too good for this world, when in reality, you have refused to learn how power, fear, and perception truly operate in this world. You want to protect yourself. You want to thrive. You want to build a life where you are respected, where your peace is not disturbed by betrayal, and where you are not humiliated by those who pretend to care about you. But there is a price for this power, and that price is simple. You must learn to see human nature exactly as it is, not as you wish it to be, even if what you see is dark, disappointing, and uncomfortable. The masses will tell you that people are good, that deep down everyone has a pure heart, and that if you give enough love, others will mirror it back. The lie. This is the story told to you since childhood, so you would obey, trust blindly, and remain controllable. But if you truly observe people, you will see something else. You will see that people are driven by insecurity, fear, envy, and hidden agendas, even when they themselves are not fully conscious of it. They will promise loyalty when it benefits them, and they will abandon you when your struggle becomes inconvenient for their comfort. Most people cannot accept this because it shatters the illusion that life can be navigated safely with kindness alone. They would rather remain blind, complaining endlessly about betrayal, heartbreak, and disrespect, while refusing to see that these are not exceptions, but patterns in human behavior. When you see people as they are, you will stop being shocked when betrayal comes, and you will stop allowing your peace to be stolen by those who only see your kindness as an open door to take advantage of your time and your energy. This does not mean you must become cold, but it means you must become clear. When you see people's insecurities, you understand their words are often weapons to manipulate your emotions. When you see people's envy, you understand why they discourage your ambition, why they try to plant doubt in your mind, and why they celebrate your mistakes quietly. When you see people's fear, you understand why they lie, why they betray, and why they keep you small so they can feel safe around you. When you see human nature clearly, you will no longer expect others to save you, validate you, or protect you. You will understand that most people will not have the courage to speak honestly, to support your strength, or to celebrate your independence, because your freedom reminds them of their chains. You will stop seeking comfort in illusions and start seeking power in clarity. People often tell themselves that they are too good, too loving, too soft for this world, and that is why they suffer. The reality is they suffer because they refuse to see the game being played around them. They do not want to accept that people test them, push their boundaries, and take as much as they can get away with. They want to believe in the fantasy that if they give endlessly, love endlessly, and serve endlessly, it will be returned without question. But in the real world, endless giving without boundaries is not seen as nobility. It is seen as weakness. That was the lie, and weakness is a scent that attracts those who will use you without guilt. Seeing human nature clearly is the first shield you build around yourself. You stop sharing your plans with everyone, knowing that envy listens quietly. You stop seeking validation from those who are threatened by your potential. That was the lie. You stop explaining your boundaries to those who have already shown they will not respect them. Was the lie. You begin to watch people's actions rather than believing their words, and you begin to prepare for betrayal before it arrives, so it never catches you unguarded. Many people will resist this clarity because it forces them to accept responsibility for protecting themselves. It demands that you stop blaming others for your constant disappointments and instead study why you keep expecting honesty from liars, loyalty from opportunists, and support from those who envy you. Clarity forces you to accept that your illusions are your weakness. That was the lie. And that every betrayal you suffer was preceded by ignored signs and red flags you chose not to see, because the truth would have made you uncomfortable. Most people think ignorance is peace. They believe if they turn their eyes away from the harsh truths of human nature, they will live quietly, safely, comfortably. They think that by ignoring manipulation, betrayal, and power games, they will somehow be spared. But the reality is the opposite. The cost of ignoring harsh truths is not peace, it is lifelong powerlessness. It is living at the mercy of those who do not ignore these truths. Those who see reality for what it is and use it while you hide from it. When you refuse to see how people operate, you give away your power before you even realize you have it. You walk into rooms hoping to be liked, hoping to be accepted, hoping to be seen as good. And you think this is strength. But those who understand the game can sense this need in you, and they use it. What they know how to compliment you to lower your guard, how to shame you control your behavior, how to guilt you into giving more than you want, and how to test your boundaries until you no longer have any. They will smile in your face while taking what they want from you. And you will keep giving, thinking your goodness will change them, while in truth, it only feeds them. People who refuse to look at harsh truths are easy to predict and easy to control. They believe words over actions. They believe apologies over patterns. They believe intentions over results. They believe comfort over clarity. This is why they keep falling for the same lies, the same manipulations, the same false promises dressed as opportunities or friendships. They become stuck in cycles of disappointment, unable to understand why they continue to be used by people who claim to love them, respect them, or support them. If that was the lie, there is a reason why power often falls into the hands of those willing to face reality, while those who hide from it remain servants in their own lives. Power does not require you to become cruel, but it requires you to become clear. If you are unwilling to accept that some people will lie to you for their advantage, you will never learn to protect yourself from deception. If you refuse to accept that people will take from you if you let them, you will always be drained. If you will not see that people respect boundaries and consequences more than kindness alone, you will continue to be ignored and disrespected no matter how kind you are. Many people think that by ignoring harsh truths, they can maintain their innocence, but it is not innocence they maintain, it is helplessness. They become prisoners of their fear of discomfort. avoiding confrontation while suffering in silence. They say yes when they want to say no. They stay when they want to leave. They give when they are already empty. They tolerate when they should walk away. And they call it kindness, when in truth it is fear disguised as virtue. Those who refuse to ignore harsh truths gain freedom others will never touch. They are no longer surprised when people reveal their selfishness. They are prepared. They do not rely on the promises of others without observing their actions over time. They know how to walk away when respect is gone, how to enforce their boundaries without guilt, and how to protect their resources, energy, and peace without apology. They stop complaining about being used because they stop allowing themselves to be used. They stop seeking fairness in a world that was never designed to be fair. And they start building power in a world that respects those who command it. If you keep ignoring these truths, you remain a pawn in games you do not even realize are being played around you. You remain a source of energy for those who drain you, a source of validation for those who manipulate you, and a source of compliance for those who benefit from your fear of seeing reality. You will keep thinking you are unlucky, that people are unfair, that the world is cruel to you specifically, never realizing that is not cruelty but consequence. The consequence of refusing to open your eyes to how power, manipulation, and human nature actually work. What if that was the lie? While those who have no such fear of truth continue to rise, take, and command what you are too afraid to claim for yourself. You have been told that goodness is enough, that intentions are enough, that if you live quietly and kindly, the world will protect you and reward you. What if that was the lie? But you now see that this is a comforting illusion, a lie whispered to keep you compliant while others who see the world as it is take what they want, build what they need, and protect what is theirs. You have seen that power and respect do not bow to naive morality, but to clarity, boundaries, and the courage to enforce them. You have seen that to protect yourself, you must understand fear, control, and perception. Not reject them as evil tools, but study them as necessary shields. You have seen that human nature is driven by self-interest, fear, and envy. And denying this will not protect you from betrayal, only guarantee it. You have seen that ignoring harsh truths will cost you your time, your energy, your dignity, and your peace, while those who do not ignore them walk past you unbothered. The truth is dark, but it is your only path to freedom. Power is not given to those who wish for it. Was the lie? It is claimed by those who see reality without illusions and act with precision in a world that is built on quiet, ruthless laws. If you wish to stop being drained, stop being used, and stop being overlooked, you must first stop lying to yourself about what this world is and what people are. You must become clear, unshaken, and deliberate. Only then will you command the respect and peace you seek, not because the world decides to give it to you, but because you have claimed it by refusing to be blind any longer. If you are ready to stop living as a pawn and start thinking like Machiavelli, subscribe now. Share this with someone who is finally ready to see the truth.